a fucking heart attack. What's going on, everybody? I was just, reading up on Superman for the new movie, and guess what? It's coming out in a year, exactly a year from today. So I figured, might as well get ready. And, while you're here, actually, I think it might be pretty fun if we looked at David Corenswet's Superman suit. What do you guys think? I don't know what you're saying, so if you're saying no, I'm not going to listen to you because I'm going to do it anyway. Yeah. So I know I'm a little late to the Superman costume party. We've seen this for a while now. There was the official image that was shared a while back, a couple months ago, I think. And then there are the recent set photos from Cleveland. And, I have my thoughts. My main thought is, why did they share that first photo? I don't know why they did that, because it's not a very good look at the suit. It's very bad. So let's just talk about the suit, what I like, what I dislike. Spoiler alert, I actually like about 95% of it. So if you were here expecting me to say it's bad, go away. I think it's great. It's everything I want in a Superman costume, and everything I don't like, I can ignore, because I like most of it. And I feel like the things I don't like will go away eventually, because that's just how these things go. These days, your superhero has to have a new costume in every movie, so we can sell more toys. Because I want more toys. Except this. I want more Spider-Man toys, but that doesn't mean you need to get rid of this costume, because this is Chef's Kiss. Chef's Kiss. All right, we're talking about this guy. So let's get to it. So right off the bat, David Corenswet Superman has the trunks. I'm gonna talk about the trunks. I'm a trunks guy. I like me some trunks on my Superman. I just think he looks really good with the trunks. I think it breaks up the blue very nicely. And once you get that yellow belt in there, then it pops even more. It's a nice, extra little color thrown in there. So I have always enjoyed the red trunks on my Superman. I think some of the trunkless suits are fine, but I will always prefer these as opposed to nothing. So I'm very glad that James Gunn in the costume team, which I think are the same people who did the costumes for the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I think. And those all had great costumes. The Suicide Squad and Peacemaker had very good costumes, very comic accurate, very colorful, and, not black leather. And Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, the blue and red team uniform, I think looks really good. And guess what? Superman, he looks like Superman. When you think of Superman, this is what you think of. And I'm liking what I'm seeing. Of course, the symbol, the House of L crest on the chest, the Superman logo, is not this. It is the Kingdom Come logo, which I don't mind. I don't mind that, because I feel like that there's a purpose behind it. It's not just,
oh, we're doing it to be different.
I think there is a story reason to why he has that symbol instead of, a more traditional Superman symbol with a more obvious S. I think it's either Kryptonian, is from Krypton, that's what the House of El crest looks on Krypton, or another thing, which I'll get to because I will touch on the other superheroes that we're going to be seeing in the movie, and I think that could have something to do with Superman's suit, but I don't know. I'm leaning more towards the fact that this is more Kryptonian inspired than Earth, and then over time, you know, the S will look more like the actual letter S than just a line, you know. But I think it looks great, especially in the red and yellow. I think it looks really good, and I like the yellow outline around it. I think that's a nice addition. I enjoy that. Then we have the belt. I like the belt. The belt's good. The buckle is a square and not an oval. I don't mind that. I mean, this one is just another Superman logo, which I'm glad they didn't do, because then we'd be going into Brandon Routh territory. And although that suit is pretty decent from Superman Returns, they went way overboard with the Superman logos. So I'm glad they're only restricted to the chest and the cape. There's the yellow symbol on the cape. We haven't seen that since Christopher Reeve, his movies. So I'm happy to see they're back, because they were sorely missed by me. I think you could have figured out a way to do it with Henry Cavill. You know, if you didn't want it to be gold, you could have done it black. That's been done before. I think they've just done like the red sections yellow, and then the yellow sections are just the red cape. I've seen that, and it's not all yellow. We also have, you know, the colors. I like the colors. I think the colors are the biggest thing here, because they're bright and vibrant and they pop. You know, this is a colorful Superman, which I love. I love that it's a colorful Superman. It's a bright sky blue and a bright red. The yellow is kind of a darker yellow. It's not like a sun yellow, you know, but it's a brighter yellow. It's like a mustard yellow. It's not bad. I like it. And you know, it just looks, like I said, it looks like Superman. Now we get to things I don't like, because guess what? There's some stuff I don't like, believe it or not. But they don't bother me, because the rest of it is really good. And like I said before, I realize that there will probably be more Superman suits in the future. And I'm sure eventually these will be rectified or, you know, altered in the future. So I'm not too hung up on them. Number one is the collar. I'm not a fan of the collar. That's from the New 52. I like how the cape is and how it attaches to the suit. But I like it when, you know, there's a little skin showing. Not too much, but, you know, there's a little, you know, just above, like, you know, here, you know. And then there are the lines.
The infamous lines.
The MCU, most of my MCU figures are down there now, because I wanted to have the comic figures more prominent. You can kind of see it on Tom Holland's Spider-Man here. Mainly on the legs. There are a bunch of little lines that are there. Why are they there? I don't know. You know, they're just there. Just 'cause. But then you get to, you know, the final swingsuit, and now they're gone. You know, they're not in the black, or, you know, on the blue. They're not on the blue. It's very simple. You know, just Spider-Man at the end of the day. And I mean, DC's done it before, and, you know, James Gunn's stuff has done it before. It's not too bad. You know, there aren't a lot of them. There aren't too many lines. They're not everywhere. You know, it's really just like on the sides of the suit. So like on the sleeves, on the legs, kind of like here. They don't stand out as well. You know, the color of the lines are close enough to the color of the rest of the suit that they don't pop as much, or they don't stand out as much. The way I see this suit is I would compare it to the Stark suit from Captain America Civil War and Spider-Man Homecoming. The first Tom Holland Spider-Man suit that we saw, where it's the classic Spider-Man suit, the classic red and blue Spidey suit, but with little extra changes, you know? there are all those extra black lines, and then they have little lighter blue lines on the blue sections on like the legs and stuff. But other than that, it's just simple Spider-Man, and it doesn't hurt the suit. I think that's a good suit. I like the Stark suit for Spider-Man. And guess what? Guess what happened with Tom Holland? Over time, he got more suits. And look what we've landed on as his most recent one. Classic Spider-Man suit. Simple, classic Spidey. So, I think the same will happen with David Corenswet Superman, where he'll get multiple suits because we gotta sell toys. And eventually, one of those suits will be just a classic, standard Superman like that. So we're gonna move on to the other superheroes, starting with Mr. Terrific, because he was the first other superhero we saw in the movie that wasn't Superman. So we're gonna look at him first. Hooray! All right, Mr. Terrific, I think looks terrific. He looks really good. I mean, it's not a hard costume to fuck up. It's just it's a guy in a jacket, essentially, with a big T on his face. Not hard to screw that up. If you screw that up, I don't know what the fuck's going on. But thankfully, James Gunn did not screw this one up. So yeah, he looks good. He looks very good. I like the way he looks. I'm excited to see him in action. I'm excited to see everybody in action. Let me tell you. The jacket's really good. He's got the fair play on the sleeves. He's got the big T on his face. He's got, you know, the reds and the whites and the blacks on the jacket. He's looking good. I'm liking the way Mr. Terrific is looking. Now let's get to Guy Gardner and Hawk Girl. So, these don't look like they're supposed to, but that's the point, I think. So, they're basically wearing exactly the same thing that Mr. Terrific is wearing, only with slight color swaps. Guy Gardner, being a Green Lantern, has more green on the costume, and there's no red. And Hawk Girl has some gold on it. And, you know, obviously that's not what they're supposed to look like. I mean, the closest one is Guy, because he wears a jacket as his Green Lantern costume. But Hawk Girl, I don't think usually wears something like that. That's not great, but I think that's the point, because some internet sleuths have zoomed in on the chest and found the Lord Tech logo. That's the company owned and operated by Maxwell Lord. You will remember him from the god-awful, abysmal shit show of a movie known as Wonder Woman 1984. Where he was played by the Mandalorian and Reed Richards himself, Pedro Pascal.
Life is good, but it can be better.
Now he's going to be played by James Gunn's brother. For some reason, it bothers people that James Gunn likes to work with his friends and family, but they excuse other people who do that, who have, like, you know, people they regularly work with on their movies. Anyway, I don't think these are the costumes that they're gonna actually wear later on. I think these are, like, purposefully supposed to be bad. I think the whole thing going on here is that Guy Gardner and Hawk Girl and Mr. Terrific and Metamorpho, who we haven't seen yet, are a part of a Maxwell Lord led or owned superhero team, and maybe they're recruiting Superman because they're like, hey, Superman, he's like the superhero. We need to have him in our team, or else we're gonna get our asses kicked. And then Superman's like, I'm not gonna do that because I don't think I should have some rich guy telling me what to do, because I have a moral compass that isn't driven by greed. So I'm gonna do my own thing, and I think you guys should too. And then those superheroes would be like, okay, fuck you, Maxwell Lord. We're gonna do what Superman says, cause he's cool. So then they go over with him. And then Maxwell Lord goes, wham, wham, wham. My superhero team is now against me. I hate superheroes. Wham, wham, wham. And then maybe somehow Lex Luthor's in all this. I don't know. I think that's what's going to happen. And I think this team will either become the Justice League International or the Terrifics. Probably the Terrifics, because we have 2 members of the Terrifics on this team, Metamorpho and... That's right, Mr. Terrific. It's in the name. And they are kind of supposed to be like the Fantastic Four a little bit. And there are 4 of these characters, so I think that could happen. But then also a couple of them, I think maybe all of them have been on Justice League International. I know at least Guy Gardner has, so that could happen as well. I think both teams are very likely to happen in the DCU, but I think Justice League International will happen after the actual Justice League forms, which obviously hasn't happened yet. So at least I don't think. So I don't know. That's probably what's going to happen there. Now we've also seen some other characters. We've seen Nicholas Hoult on set. He'll be playing Lex Luthor. We've seen him with like cuts and scrapes on his face. But we haven't seen him like in costume or anything. He's just like wearing street clothes, which I don't think Lex Luthor will be wearing, or he's wearing, one of those jackets, those big jackets for the actors when they're not filming. And then we've also seen, the engineer from The Authority, and we've seen 2 other characters. One I don't know. The other one I don't want to spoil, but they are in something else that we do know they're in. We didn't know they were going to be in this, but we do know they're in a couple other things. If you know, you know. But I'm not going to talk about that there, because I think that's going into more spoilery territory with what's going on in those photos, and I don't want to ruin the movie. I'm just here to talk about costumes and what I think could happen in the movie. I'm not gonna, show you something that definitely says what a big plot point's gonna be, even though James Gunn has said that the scenes they're filming outside in Cleveland aren't, like, major... They're not too spoilery, like, none of these are, like, gonna be, like, a third act reveal type thing. But, there's some stuff that they did film outside in Cleveland that I think could be a little spoilery, but clearly it's not like a big deal. Overall, very excited for this movie. This is my most hyped movie of 2025. And I mean, next July, it's pretty stacked. We got this, we got Fantastic Four, which I'm also very excited about. They're right here. They're right there in the corner. You can see the thing. I don't think you can see Johnny, but you can see Ben and Sue and maybe Reed. I can't tell. I don't think you can see him because Blade's blocking him. But their movie's coming out next year. And also the 5th, not the 5th, the 7th. The 7th Jurassic Park movie, which I'm very hesitant about. So there you go. Superman. Yeah. Here's a doodle I drew of Superman. I think it looks pretty cool. So yeah, I'm gonna keep reading this now.